The owners and players met for the first time in 13 days, and Jordan was at the bargaining table. So far, the first 2 months of the season have been wiped out, but after 10 and a half hours of negotiating, NBA Commissioner David Stern said it is likely there won't be an NBA season. I hope so.
If you ask me, one of the most fascinating periods of time in NBA history was between the end of the 1998 season and the start of the 1999 season. In that crucial window, the NBA we knew was completely changing. The game's greatest player was retiring once again, meaning the dynastic Chicago Bulls, who had won 6 out of the last 8 championships, were now in the process of plummeting to the bottom of the Eastern Conference. Beyond that, a new wave of talent was trying to find its footing, while the old guard was making its exit. Analysts questioned how NBA fans would respond to such drastic changes in the professional climate. But by far, the biggest contributing factor to the uncertainty of the NBA's future was the impending NBA lockout. As we've seen several times throughout NBA history, the players and the owners couldn't come to an agreement on how the league should split its revenue. But this time, it was different. This time, things wouldn't be resolved for quite a while, as the dissension lasted through the summer, through the fall, and deep into the winter. Many question whether or not NBA games would even be played that season. On December 4th, the commissioner of the NBA, David Stern, stated that the cancellation of the entire NBA season was now imminent. At a certain point, the stalled negotiations meant that the All-Star game had to be scrapped, and things were looking bleak for the latter half of the typical NBA season. But finally, on January 20th, 1999, the two parties came to terms, as both the players and the owners were unwilling to go an entire year missing paychecks. The NBA would have a 1999 season after all, but the consequences of a 204-day lockout would be severe. With the NBA regular season beginning 4 months later than its usual starting point, several things had to be skipped entirely, like training camp and preseason games. Players and coaches had concerns about health, seeing how there was basically no time to get in shape for the season. But still, to most players, this was preferable over the alternative of going an entire year without making any money. With a longer off-season and with no training, a lot of players were starting the NBA season much heavier than the year before. Players like Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, Shawn Kemp, Patrick Ewing, Oliver Miller, Dennis Scott, and Bryant Reeves were just some of the examples of players being extremely overweight when the games commenced. To make matters even worse, the NBA had to organize the most hectic and condensed schedule that the league had ever seen. When the schedule dropped, it was jarring, and unlike anything the NBA players had ever experienced. Each NBA team would be starting their season on February 5th, and they would be playing 50 games in just 90 days leading up to the NBA playoffs. In the modern NBA, it's very common for veteran players to rest on the second day of back-to-backs. But that wouldn't be much of an option this year, as teams would frequently be playing on 3 straight nights. The Houston Rockets had a core of Akeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, and Scottie Pippen, who were all between the ages of 33 and 36. And within the first couple of weeks of a new season starting, the Rockets had a stretch where they had to play 5 games in just 6 days. The Seattle Supersonics had an even worse, as they were the oldest team in the entire league and had multiple stretches where they had to play 5 games in just 6 days. In an interview, the former All-Star guard Terry Porter summed up that season by saying, "You know how guys say that the season is a marathon? Well, that year, it was a sprint. It was a full-out sprint." The insane workload was taking its physical toll on the players. Patrick Ewing, who came into that season overweight, ruptured his Achilles in early March. Along with that, Charles Barkley ruptured a tendon in his left knee. It wasn't just the injuries though, But the general fatigue was showing up in the numbers as well. Teams were averaging 91.6 points per game, which was down 4 points from the previous season and is still the lowest scoring season since the NBA merger. The average player was shooting only 43.7% from the field, which is the lowest it has ever been since the mid-1960s. Not to be redundant, but the pace of play was also the slowest in NBA history, which is certainly an aspect of fatigue as well. By the time the postseason began, basically everyone was gassed, which contributed to even fewer points per game per team, and an average field goal percentage of 42.5. Many people have concluded that the 8th-seeded New York Knicks were able to make it to the NBA Finals because of this chaotic, lockout-shortened season. And honestly, they're probably right. Up till that point, the NBA had never done anything like this, and they probably never will again. Now, this might be the craziest part about all of it. Despite the schedule of 50 games in 90 days, despite the lack of proper pacing, and despite the lack of a training camp, a total of 83 players still played in all 50 games that season. In our current era of load managing, resting players, and injury mitigation, I can only imagine how players would respond to an absurdly brutal schedule like this. Part of me thinks they'd rather cancel the season and accept all those missed paychecks rather than taking on the brutality of that all-out sprint. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. Shout out to the members for their crucial support of this channel, and thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.